270. Page 6. I thought I had it underlined. Apparently I did not. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. Page 6. No, it was before that. Anyway, there's 270 that were diagnosed between Thank you. Okay, page 5. Thank you. Bottom of page 5. In Arkansas, 270 patients were diagnosed between January of 2013 and September of 2015. The patients were located in 33 of the state's 75 counties. So you might say 270, that doesn't sound like a lot. You have to understand that this is only diagnosed between January of 2013 and September of 2015. Dwight Tosh doesn't fit in that category. Okay, how long have you had this?
Since 1987.
Okay, so there are a lot of people also who have not been diagnosed because they don't even know that this test exists. So just keep that in mind. And that's just in the state of Arkansas. This is known throughout mostly the southeastern part of the United States where we're seeing more of this allergy, but it is also worldwide. There's a huge population of the Lone Star tick, which is the tick that is expected to give this allergy. And there are a lot of people in Australia who have this, and then also in other regions throughout the world. So it is something that we are seeing outside of the state of Arkansas. Just trying to show off the geographics of this. Okay, on page 8, wanted to point out in one study, this is at the bottom of page 8, it says in one study of pediatric patients, 5 of 51 patients studied visited the emergency room at least 4 times before being diagnosed with the allergy. A total of 45% of the children in that study used the emergency room at least once. 8% of the patients were admitted to the hospital. So again, kind of noting my experience, I went to the ER 3 times before I was diagnosed. I believe you were hospitalized, correct?
Yes, first time I actually experienced the reaction was, I was actually in southern Arkansas and thought it was something that I'd had from lunch that day. Ended up blood pressure dropped and they called an ambulance. Ended up spending the night at the intensive care at the CrossFit Hospital. And they said it was a food allergy, but they thought it was something that I had reacted to from the recent dinner meal, and little did we know at the time it was actually from what I'd had at lunch. And of course at that time there were no tests to indicate, there was no knowledge about this alpha-gal at the present time. So basically what I had to do over the course of the following years was to use the process of elimination, and each time I would narrow it down. And finally one day I had a reaction and I'd not had any dinner, so I knew it went back to lunch. But it's a food allergy that has a delayed reaction, which really throws everybody off because normally it's a 4 to 6 hour delay when you react to this, but it is life-threatening. And of course those of you here, many of you here have been out with me to eat, and you know what an ordeal it is that you have to go through to have lunch or dinner with me, because not only, I'm smart enough to know not to order any type of beef or pork or any type of mammal meat, but the problem goes far beyond that and to the point of what we call cross-contamination. I mean, even though you know not to order those things because you know what it'll do to you, still when they go back there in the kitchen and they're preparing your meal, you just have to hope that they don't place it on the same grill where they cook beef or pork or some other type of mammal meat, because if they do, then you're going to experience the same reaction. Your body will react to it the same as if you had actually consumed the mammal meat. And of course, Representative Mayberry, I really appreciate her and the work that she's done. I probably hadn't been as much help to her as I should have been, but I really appreciate her efforts. And I know I went to an allergy doctor in Jonesboro, And he kept telling me he would run a test, and he said, "You are not allergic to any type of pork or beef." And I would argue with him, and I said, "I know I am." And finally one day he called me and he said, "Hey, I owe you an apology. I've just reviewed a study. It's called Alpha Gal." And he said, "The only way to determine whether or not you have this is through a special type of blood test." So I went in and like Representative Mayberry said, some people are more sensitive to it than others. I know, like on my blood test, I checked a level 11, which he indicated was pretty high, but from talking to Representative Mayberry after we got here together, I think her blood level test was 50. So she is a lot more sensitive to it than I am, but still, if you come in contact with it, the end result, it's still life-threatening regardless of the sensitivity. So it's extremely important what we're doing on this task force to make people aware of the dangers, that just make them knowledgeable about what's out there, because that's the problem we face is most people, they really don't know when you go to the emergency room what's happened to you. They don't know what to look for, and especially out in eating out, people I don't think realize the seriousness of what we're dealing with. So I'll hush at that point and turn it back over to you.
Great.